My name's Professor Johnny Gray. I have two hats, if you like. I'm an academic at Lancaster Environment Centre, and I'm also the Research and Conservation Officer for the Wild Trout Trust. Otterburn beck is another typical Dales beck. It's been wending through these pastures for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and working with the landowner, we've taken some of that land out of intensive production, so sheep aren't allowed onto this part. About 5 hectare plot following me around at the moment, and the difference in the vegetation is really quite clear. And again, this beck has been straightened historically. It was first cut off by the railway, secondly by the road, so the floodplain has been constrained over decades and centuries, and now we're basically just trying to give the beck back a little bit of space so it can function naturally, start to meander, and that allows the energy to dissipate across the floodplains, makes it easier for the fish to live in, and allows the gravel to retain in the channel that very important habitat for invertebrates and for the trout themselves. Well, we've actually put in about 120 Christmas trees into this short reach, and what we're using them for here is the beck is currently cutting rather too close to the road, so we've packed out the erosion scar with Christmas tree brash. The other aspect is for the fish themselves, and that's providing good habitat. The small fish can tuck into this sort of matrix, physical matrix of branches. The diversity up here is pretty good because actually the water quality is pretty good. Unfortunately, many of our rivers don't have such good water quality. There are quite a few different types of river flies, so this is quite a good larder for the trout and for the birds that live around the beck. Obviously the trout will be taking them when they're underneath the water. The Loversdale beck has been worked quite hard historically. Now, of course, many of those uses are redundant, but we still have some structures along the beck which cause issues for fish passage. So we're currently stood next to a ford which is required for the farming in the area. The farmer needs to cross to feed his livestock, move his stock around. What we've done here is address the barrier that ford was causing. Prior to the work, it was about 75 centimetres difference in terms of the upstream and the downstream level. So what we've done to maintain the access across the ford is to put a rock ramp on the beck and allow, or effectively remove, that 75 centimetre drop and smooth out the gradient further downstream. So now we know that fish can actually use this for passing the structure. We've done some electrofishing, which is a method of surveying the fish community, and we found that one particular species, the stone loach, which wasn't actually found upstream of the ramp prior, is now found upstream in reasonably good numbers. This is the brown trout, our native species. We have several age classes in here. Very cryptic colouring in terms of the spotting pattern. This is the bullhead, a very different body plan to the trout in terms of its being a benthic species. It lives on the bottom, so it has adaptations for clinging to the rocks on the bottom in the flow. But perhaps the biggest success story here has been for the stone loach, which is a relatively small, perhaps insignificant little fish, but we've massively extended the range of the stone loach within the beck by creating the rock ramp further upstream. Lots of the work that we've done here has been focused around improving the habitat and connectivity along the beck for trout, but we use trout as a sentinel species, and so if we're getting it right for trout, we're getting it right for pretty much everything else. And in general, the health of the river is pretty good. The invertebrate score is good for this part of the beck. And this is the sort of story that we want to roll out across all the rivers in Yorkshire and even wider across the UK.